Hello, everyone. I'm just so tired tonight that I thought this would be a good time to explain to you dead weight and how to get it into the keys to produce your tone. So you have to first think, and this needs to be taught right at the very first piano lesson that anyone even has, because so often they start with tension and they don't know what they're doing with the instrument and how to get the tone out of it, because they don't understand what's behind the fall board and what's in the action. You have to understand what a whipping is and how the hammer is slung up into the wire and so on. So it starts with relaxation, and if you can just think of your whole body heavy and relaxed, but sitting tall with a yardstick on your spine that goes right up from your tailbone right to the crown of your head, and shoulders relaxed, and imagine your arms are so loose in the shoulders that they're not attached into the socket. They're just hanging there. They're so heavy. You'll feel the blood rushing in your hands, and think about all the 70 trillion body cells that you have and how there's a relaxation in them and a freedom, because you want to be able to have the elbows so loose and the wrists so movable and loose, but the fingers have to be strong. So getting your weight in the keys, that's your whole body you can feel in the keys when you do your heavy practice. It's like being a bodybuilder. You have to build your hands using that weight. And when you can use that weight, like you're standing on with your belly facing the floor and your toes are at the back end of you, not your knees, but your toes, and your hands are so strong that your whole torso, your whole body is being supported by the strength of your hands. So if you thought of coming from an airplane and you're going to come down, it's like when that squirrel landed. His eyeball sees where he's going to land, and he puts his arms out and his legs out flat so that he's like a parachute as he lands, and he sinks. So when he lands on the ground with his full body weight, he doesn't hurt himself. He relaxes, and he's strong in his hands, in his paws. You have to be strong in your hands and in individual fingers, so you have to practice with quick, sharp finger action up and down, all that kind of thing. But you have to be able to do heavy practice and lift the unused fingers out of the way. When you're in the keys with a relaxed arm and hand, you can balance all that weight of that arm, in fact, the whole torso, right back to your toes. You can imagine that that's parachuting down and sinking into the keys. So whatever I play, for whatever piece I choose, I can rotate the hand like a doorknob to voice what I want as I land. So to bring the weight on that key as the finger depresses the key deeply and draws behind me, like there's a bowling ball pin back there and it's going for it. So all that freedom lets you have color when you play. It lets you control that your key doesn't go down too fast. But in the end, you're getting your weight in the keys. Like if I go... So I'm always shaping for the next chord that I'm going to play so that I can voice it properly, and I'm linking my notes. I'm holding them together. It's like there's a clothespin between two fingers, pinching. That's the strength of your finger, holding it smooth and legato. So if I'm going, I'm not just going plunk, plunk, plunk. I'm sinking and landing into, and think of your arms away from you as you come down in to land like that. And you'll get a much richer tone. You'll be able to hear all the voices, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. pick it out with beauty of tone, with color, with harmonics, with overtones, and make it sing. You've got to turn your instrument into a singer, but you've got to use the body weight. So you want to do slow, heavy practice. I could take something as simple as Trummerai, and if I'm trying to get it in my hands, I'm not going to be thinking of the beautiful tone and all that kind of thing. I'm not thinking of a bad tone, I'm thinking of a heavy tone. So and I have to be able to lift the unused fingers all in the hand so that I don't pull up in the wrist and stiffen in the hand and lose being in the keys. It's a complicated thing. It's like hanging on the edge of a cliff with the weight of your body. It's that whole body with your toes back there and your whole being. I have a friend in New Zealand, and he does all these weight exercises and dangling from poles or push-ups on his fingertips and getting away while he's in the air and coming back down. You have to be able to get away and up in the air before you land. Like if I go, all this is going up in the air before I come down and land. It gives you time to listen. And you want to be able to make the piano sing in all the voices. You can't just pick out one and think, because you'll lose the warmth of the harmony. If I go, and if I lose all that, it's no good. So I got to hear. Trying to get it to sing like that, but I have to do the heavy practice. So I would do that quick, sharp finger action, both up and down, like a snap of a mousetrap. But drop. Gravity's your friend. And release on the way up, like throwing a basketball up in the air. Let it decelerate and accelerate. When it decelerates, it stops and then meditates, and then it's accelerating faster and faster and faster down. And when it's going down, that's you coming in as a parachute, so the fingers can lay out and land the key gently with all your body weight when you do your heavy practice. Get the piece in your hands. So no pedal. Because when you can connect your notes like that, two notes are down at once for a split second, that means you don't come off with that and then play this, because when you come off with up with this thumb before you play the 5, you're actually coming down with the damper for that wire that's singing, those 3 wires, and stopping the sound so you get that break. And that's not what you want. You want. So the fingers have to be steel. You wouldn't be doing a push-up on your fingertips with spaghetti fingers. They've got to be strong down, but out and down like that. So not just down and hitting. It's sinking in and movable wrist, always moving. And you're going to have a lovely tone when you do that kind of practice. I hope that helps give you some ideas before you start to practice. Now, one other thing, if this was your first piano lesson, you want to take a look at the keyboard and see how the notes are grouped. They're grouped in 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 all the way. So close your eyes and feel where there's a group of 3. Bump, bump, bump. There's a group of 3. No bump. There's a space on the top and the bottom between the B and the C and the E and the F. So when you can feel those groups like that all the way through, then take your whole arm relaxed and play a group of 3. Just drop and feel heavy. And because the wrist is movable and the fingers are now supporting your balance, your heaviness, your weight in the keys, the wrist can keep moving. And now pull it up and come over the next one. Always eyeball for the next one. But it's for feel, to get the feel. Some schools of teaching with the children, they put a sheet there that you can't see your hands at all. You have to do it all by feel. And then the body can go this way or can go this. You're sitting right in front of middle C, but you can lean toward the top, you can lean toward the bass. If you think of the keyboard up like this, you realize that the notes are up high on the ladder, the high ones, and they're down low at the bottom. So high is going up this way, low is going down this way, even though that's horizontal. Then think about in a group of 3 black notes. After you've played all the 3s down and up, right hand, left hand, practice that in a group of 3 black keys, A has 1 above, 2 below. And you want to be able to relate to the key, to the staff. So if you have the staff like that, and middle C is right there in the middle, then practice playing middle C while you're sitting in front of it from the group of 2. Then go up to the next C, which is the next group of 2 black keys, find it on here, go up to this C, 2 spaces down from the top, and play it. And then go up to the 2 lines above the top staff, which is up here, and play that one. Same with down here. Go back down to below middle C. This thing isn't working right, but you'll bring it down to 2 spaces up from the bottom, and it's this C. And then two lines below the bass staff. Go there. But rest in the keys. Don't push down. Just play down from the arch. Things happen down from your main arch. And focus your tone. Do all the C's. Then I'll take a group of 3 black keys and say, well, A has 1 above, 2 below. Then relate it to that staff and play them and write them out. The more you write them out, the more you know them. Do all your A's. I mean, you won't bother writing out for way up here because they're just ledger lines. But anything in this 2 octaves, you want to know them. So A. So take your group of 3, get flat on the fingers, and wait till you feel heaviness after gravity pulls you down. And then sharp snap right into that shape for it. Hold it together with your hands and focus the tone that you're balancing on that finger that you can roll and rock left and right, and feel your whole arm swinging on like that, but balanced on the tip of the finger. It's like a skater on the ends of her skates, on the tips and the picks. You have to be able to feel where your balance is, and then take pleasure in listening to taking a chord, release on the way up, and as it sinks, get out for that parachute and sink, and it's the whole body. It's not just from your seat. It's the whole length of your body you're feeling is part of what you're doing. And arms away from you, and I'm doing for the F sharp. If I did for the thumb, it'd be, if I did the thumb in this hand, 5 in this hand. So I want the top, and I want some support from the bass in 4-part harmony, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. Know what your ranges are for the different voices, where the soprano would be like about B, maybe up to whatever you go up to, maybe an octave higher or more. But then the alto is maybe from the B below or A below middle C up to maybe C in the right, 1 C above middle C. Then the tenor's down here and the bass down here. So you learn what your ranges are for your voices. So if I'm playing that chord, I'm loose, all 70 trillion body cells, and relaxed, dead weight, and toes behind me, and the whole body releasing on the way up. Then when I go that way and the elbows are free, then I'm hanging there then. But I didn't go down in, I go in to make a round sound. The other thing is a clock. You have to have a tick going in your head to keep things steady. You have to study the score, know how it relates, one tick to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Think of the note as a sponge absorbing the water. Take the time for it to absorb the water during the beat. And then you're going to think like 2 and each beat is soaking up that water, and it's you being in the water and swimming like that, balancing, floating, whatever you want to think of, but on the pad of the finger. So 2 and 3 and so it's, think of hearing a clock, and your hands are like clocks. They're making the tick of the clock. Tick, 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 tick. So 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and get quieter at the resolution of the cadence at the end of the phrase, and spread it a little. Take your time. Think backwards in time to a happy time or a sad time in your life, but take the time to reflect back like that, and it's going to make a difference to your playing. Don't just plow ahead. Take the time to micro count and hear each of those inner voice notes soaking up the tone, like. Anyway, I hope that gives you some ideas that you would want to get across to a student in their first lesson, because it's not just playing notes and punching them out like on an electric keyboard. You've got to make your instrument sing. So I hope that gives you some good ideas, useful ideas.